Welcome to the lecture series of Mobile Computing and Wireless Communication. I am your instructor, Ms. Alpa Rupala. So today we are going to learn about line of sight and fading. So topics to be covered today: line of sight, significant impairments and fading. So what is line of sight? As we have discussed in our previous lecture that we are having three kind of propagation mode: ground wave, sky wave and space wave. So ultimately space wave is referred to as a line of sight communication. So the line of sight communication can have significant impairments, and according to it we can divide it into two types, that is when any of the obstacle is present between transmitter and receiver, at that time what impairments can occur, and when there is no obstacle present in between the transmitter and receiver, at that time what impairments can occur. So the first type is when obstacle is present. So at that time first phenomena can be blocking or shadowing, second reflection, third refraction, fourth scattering, 5 diffraction, 6 multipath propagation and 7 noise. But when obstacle is not present, at that time attenuation and attenuation distortion, atmospheric attenuation and free space loss. So ultimately we are just seeing or explaining this each and every topic terms in detail. So the first one is blocking or shadowing. So this kind of attenuation will be kind of whenever we are having a higher frequency signal, at that time the signal can be strike on the very big object or obstacle. So the object will occupy or extract the strength of the signal, and the signal becomes so weak that even we cannot detect it. So this kind of attenuation is known as the blocking or shadowing due to large obstacle. The next phenomena is reflection. Now reflection is kind of a mechanism in which, or phenomena in which, there is a object which is in large, very large compared to the wavelength of your signal. Okay, obstacle is very large compared to the wavelength of your signal. At that time the signal can be reflect back, but with the lower strength. Now the third is refraction. Refraction means it is basically depend on the velocity of your signal, in which when the signal travels from higher velocity or higher density medium, lower density medium to higher density medium, at that time it will bend towards to the higher density medium, and this phenomena is known as the refraction. Now the next one is scattering. Scattering involves when we are having the obstacle in a size in very much lower compared to the wavelength of a signal. In this phenomena, if the signal is striking on the object or obstacle, at that time it can be scattered into a multiple or several weaker signals. Okay, one signal will be converted into the multiple lower weaker signals, and this is known as the scattering. Next is diffraction. Diffraction is similar to scattering, in which obviously the one signal will be divided into multiple weaker signal, but the diffraction will happen when the signal is striking on an edge of any obstacle, like a mountain edge, okay, like a building edge. If it is striking on the edge of the obstacle, at that time the signal can be diffracted in place of reflection. Next one is multipath propagation effect. Multipath propagation means what? If the transmitter or receiver, anyone is traveling, okay, and moving in a moving condition, at that time this from the transmitter to receiver there can be a multiple ways by which the receiver receive the signal. So suppose the A signal is free space signal, B signal is reflected, C signal is diffracted and D signal is scattered down. So there is a multiple paths for reaching to the destination or a receiver, right? So this all phenomena, in whatever order we wanted to receive that signal, we are not receiving the signal in the same order, even though we are receiving the two signal at the same time. So this particular phenomena will occur one different form of the deformation, which is known as the ISI, okay, which is known as the ISI, that is inter-symbol interference. Multi-path propagation can create inter-symbol interference. Now the next one is noise. Noise is nothing but the unwanted signal between the transmitter and receiver, okay, which is the receiver is receiving, but it is unwanted. So the noise is nothing but the unwanted signal, and there are different kind of noise. The first noise is thermal noise. The thermal noise is basically created by the heating process. Obviously we know that we are providing the antenna transmission power, right? If the transmission power is very much of higher, then the heat will be increased, okay. According to heat, the electrons which is under the conductors will be having the agitation process, thermal agitation process, okay. So by that thermal agitation process, the noise will be generated, and that noise will be referred to as, and that noise will refer to as the thermal noise. The next one is intermodulation noise. The intermodulation noise will occur when the transmitter and receiver is not in a synchronization. Okay, suppose transmitter is transmitting in very much of higher rate and receiver is not that much of efficient to receive it, or the transmitter is transmitting in a very much of lower rate and receiver is very fast to receive. At that time, the intermodulation noise can occur. Third one is a crosstalk. In crosstalk, two or three particular channels data can be combined, and one person can hear another person's data, and one person can hear another person can hear another person's data. So this kind of crosstalk can be happen. And fourth one is impulse noise, in which at a very shorter period of time the noise or the signal will have the very higher amplitude value. So the peak value will be created, and that will be like a very high frequency sound kind of noise. Okay, so this is what an impulse noise. So this we have seen the impairments when the obstacle is present. Now the impairments when obstacle is not present, even the attenuation is happening. Okay, so the first one is attenuation and attenuation distortion. This is due to the distance between the transmitter and receiver, this phenomena. Obviously if we are having a long distance, then attenuation will be increased, and if we are having a small distance, then attenuation will decrease. Next one is atmospheric attenuation. Due to the atmospheric effect, the attenuation happens, that is because of the atmospheric attenuation. Now the next one is free space loss. This means even though we are not having any atmospheric attenuation, even though we are not having any obstacle present, distance is a bit of moderate, but still we are feeling the attenuation, and that attenuation is known as the free space loss, and we are having some of the formula for the free space loss also. Next topic, fading. Fading is nothing but a quick change in or fluctuation in amplitude, frequency or phase of the signal over a shorter period of time. Okay, a fading is nothing but a quick change or fluctuation in the amplitude, frequency or phase value of the signal over a shorter period of time. So basically it is due to the effect of multi-path propagation signal, and we can have that the different types of fading also. But before that we need to understand some of the definition regarding to the fading. So the first definition is coherence bandwidth. The coherence bandwidth is nothing but we can assume it as a channel bandwidth. Okay, this is a channel bandwidth. Obviously we know that we can have two type of bandwidth available. First one is signal bandwidth and second one is channel bandwidth. Okay, the bandwidth, whatever your signal is occupying, will be referred to as the signal bandwidth, and the bandwidth what your transmission media is occupying is known as the coherence bandwidth or channel bandwidth. So ultimately, when we are transferring our data or any of the signal data from by that transmission channel, then we need to adjust our signal according to the transmission channel. So this is what coherence bandwidth. Then after delay spread. The delay spread is nothing but the difference, a calculative difference between the transmitter and receiver. At what amount of time the signal must be reaches to the receiver, but it is receiving at some delay of interval. So the difference of that will be referred to as the delay spread. Then on the Doppler shift, the same receiver must need to receive the signal with some amount of frequency, but it is receiving in some different amount of frequency. So the difference will be known as the Doppler shift of in a frequency. Next one is RMS delay spread. If we are calculating root mean square value of a delay spread, then it will be referred to as a RMS delay spread. Now there is basically two type of fading. First one is small scale fading and second one is large scale fading. So the small scale fading is basically developed on a short distance between the transmitter and receiver, and the large scale fading will be referred to as the on a long distance between transmitter and receiver. So ultimately we are looking for a small scale fading into a detail. So we can see that for the small scale fading, if we are dividing it based on the multiple path time delay spread, then the types of the small scale fading will be flat fading and frequency selective fading. And if we are dividing it according to the Doppler spread, then the types will be fast fading and slow fading. First one is flat fading. In flat fading, basically it will occur when we are having signal bandwidth very much of lower than the coherence bandwidth. At that time, all the frequency component of a signal will signal frequency will have the same effect of the fading in the transmission channel. Okay, so basically the time component, that is the Doppler shift, will be very much of lesser than the RMS delay spread will be very much of lesser than the symbol time. Next one is frequency selective fading. In frequency selective fading, a total invert fundamental in which your basically signal bandwidth will be greater than the coherence bandwidth. So that symbol time will be very much of lesser than the RMS delay spread. So selective frequency, only the selective frequency will have the effect of the attenuation. That's why it is known as the frequency selective fading. Now the fast fading, in fast fading your channel is faster than your symbol time. So at that time your symbol time is very much of greater than your channel. That means your channel is very much of faster, okay, than your original signal. At that time the fading occurs known as the fast fading, and same as slow fading, when your channel is slower than your signal, at that time the phenomena is known as the slow fading. So we have discussed today the significant impairments when obstacle is present and when obstacle is not present, and then after we have learned regarding to the fading. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in our next lecture.